Hey, so I'm going to cover this video as a follow up to my video from 2 years ago about Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith being swingers.
Growing up, I never understood the hype or obsession over celebrity couples, like a power couple where fans just celebrate that they're in love or whatever and they're fainting anytime they see a picture of them holding hands. Just like a growth spurt, I just never got it. Why would you care so much about two strangers' relationship? I always wrote it off as just being part of this super fan culture that I just didn't understand. I know in the modern day it's very rare for people to just casually enjoy something. If you like something, you have to fucking love it. You have to live, breathe, and sleep that thing that you like. We've seen it a lot over the years with K-pop, where
Yeah, I'm not really into the whole pop culture paparazzi sort of shit either. This is just a particularly interesting story because these are interviews that they've done themselves. This isn't like the paparazzi catching them in the wild or anything like that. This is their own thoughts on marriage and relationships. And I know that it's entirely possible that they had created a facade to continue living together while they're raising their kids. I think the kids are grown by now, though, right? They should be grown by now. So perhaps if they just wanted to create an environment for their kids where they were both in the house, both available to their kids, that's fine. And maybe it's a lopsided sort of arrangement. It could be. But a lot of couples actually do manage it this way where they want to provide both parents in the house while their kids are growing up. But there will ultimately be a breaking point, right?
K-pop stans will obsess and go wild over even the smallest things, like if their favorite singer posts a picture of them eating a hot dog online. They'll cross-reference that photo with all known databases, go to a cutting-edge laboratory using the latest forensics analysis tools in order to figure out where the photo was taken, where the hot dog was purchased, so they can go there in the real world and try and fish through the trash can looking for the wrapper that they threw away so they can frame it on their wall. It's just this level of investment in strangers that I've never really understood. Until now. As a 29-year-old man, I've had my eureka come to Jesus moment. I get it. Because I have become very.
It trips me out that Moist Critical is actually roughly the same age as my son. Like, this is another one that I occasionally watch. I suppose I should subscribe, right? I don't know why his screen name changed. I'm fairly certain this is Moist Critical, but okay. Um, a lot of the YouTubers out there that are gaining success are all roughly around the same age as my son. And so it's such a trip to listen to what they have to say, realizing that they've absolutely come of age at this time. And now they have adult opinions because they're starting to get into their 30s, you know?
Invested and fascinated with a celebrity relationship, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith. It's this never ending disaster, this tragic play that keeps getting new acts added to it that I could have never predicted. It all started last year with the infamous slap where Will Smith slapped the devil out of Chris Rock on stage after Chris Rock made a joke about his wife Jada. And that signature anime finishing move with the slap actually pumped the brakes on his entire career.
And just to be clear, it was a really inappropriate joke. He was throwing a joke at Jada Pinkett Smith for her, I think it's called alopecia, where, and this commonly happens with a lot of black women, where they start balding. That also happened with one of the squad Was it? I don't think it was Ilhan Omar. I can't remember which one it was. But one of them revealed that she is suffering from this condition as well.
There were a lot of projects that he was involved with that dropped him, or just a lot of other projects that didn't want to touch him after this. So his whole career came to a screeching halt, all from the old five fingers to the face moment.
Right.
And since then, there's been more and more information that's come out about their relationship that just makes it baffling and so weird. Like, even prior to the slap, we had those uncomfortable moments where Jada invited Will Smith onto her show, where she just openly admitted to cheating on him and, like, having an entanglement with a much younger man, right to Will's face as he looks on in agony and sadness. And it spawned a lot of memes where Will Smith was, done up to look like Pain from Naruto and all of that. Because, I mean, it's rough. Like, it's really rough to just watch her giggle and laugh about cheating on Will, who seems very much still in love with her. And they always kept up this act that, they're strong together, they're still together, this and that. And now, today, Jada has revealed that her and Will have actually been separated since 2016. She has a book coming out pretty soon, and there was a little special filmed with Jada where
I think he leaves out the part where she also has been doing all these interviews and stating that Tupac Shakur was actually the love of her life. So there's that as well.
States that they've actually not been together in 7 years now.
Because I said, is this true?
Right.
Was that in 2016, you and Will decided that you were going to live completely separate lives.
Yes.
It was not a divorce on paper,
right,
but it was a divorce.
Hey, can someone let Will Smith know that? I'm pretty sure this is the first time he's hearing it. You're telling me you guys actually split up in 2016? So he just sunk his career like the Titanic over his ex-wife? But then if that's the case, why would he say, keep your wife's name out of your mouth? Right? Like, that's just not adding up. I feel like she's just making this shit up. For the last year, I've paid attention to this relationship.
Because he technically is still her husband. So he can still make that claim. And oftentimes with these couples that are separated in their homes, they're still living together, but they are living separate lives. They still like to claim that credit of my wife this, my husband that, even though they may be living in separate bedrooms, right? They may be doing completely different things. They may have a plan or a strategy to ultimately get a divorce, but they want to keep it. They want to keep it out of the public eye, especially for their kids' sake, right? Because they're still trying to raise their kids together.
And it feels like every opportunity she has to hurt Will publicly, she pounces on with a smile on her face. It's like, it's diabolical. Like, she reveals some very embarrassing things about their relationship publicly. She openly talks about how she preferred her previous relationship to Will, though she doesn't use that language. It makes it very clear with some of the things she's posted that she was happier before Will. At least that's the impression myself and many others get with a lot of the things that she posts about. It's just brutal. It's like being married to your biggest Twitter hater, like someone who's just leaving the most deep cut.
Yeah, but I mean, if you think about it, like, you think about like the interviews that they were doing in the mid-aughts about, it was like probably over a decade ago, that they were doing these interviews saying, we've started working out and our sex is better than ever. Like, they were doing things to repair their marriage, but they clearly were doing things to repair their marriage. So there was a problem there, right? And then they announced at least a couple years ago, almost 3 years ago at this point. And I'm fairly certain that I watched this on like CNN. They did an interview talking about how they had an open marriage. They were essentially swingers.
Comments that actually hurt you on Twitter, it's like being in a relationship with them for 20 years. At least that's how it comes across. She does not seem to respect or even like Will at all. She is always running the bus over him any chance she gets. This is a bombshell. Claiming that they've actually been split since 2016, that doesn't even make sense. Now, apparently, she's claiming that it was a private decision they reached together, but in order to keep up public appearances because they weren't ready to reveal it, they kept pretending like they were still married. But that just doesn't track. That doesn't make sense, because if that was the case, why would Will publicly slap the fuck out of Chris Rock and ruin his career over this if he didn't think you guys were still married? That wouldn't make sense.
So why do that? Like, what was the reason?
I think just not being ready yet. Still trying to figure out between the two of us
Yeah.
how to be in partnership, right? And in regards to how do we present that to people, you know? And we hadn't figured that out.
It's not quantum science we're talking about here. You just say that you're not together anymore. You would have saved both yourself and Will so much shame during the entire entanglement scandal if you had just said, hey, we actually separated 7 years ago. There is nothing to gain by keeping up a facade that you are still married and, in love together when you're not, especially when...
No, you're wrong. There are a lot of couples who stay together for the children so that they don't have to split visitation, split custody, that they both have, and we're talking about some super rich people, right? So they probably have enough space in their home where they can accommodate living separate lives. I'm sure they can.
You're fucking other dudes, right? Why would you not just say, hey, we're not together anymore, really? It's just the easiest thing in the world. You'd have to try so much harder to not say that and just bear all of the spitballs that were being shot at you for cheating. If you weren't actually cheating, then it should have been so much easier to just be like, hey, whoa, guys, look, we wanted to keep things private, but, now things have hit the public sector thanks to me talking about this on my talk show. And it's probably about time that we state we haven't been together for 7 years. And it would have been so much smoother for both Will and Jada. But again, I just don't believe this. I really don't. And this sounds super parasocial, but Will looks like he's perpetually going through life heartbroken, like in a trance, like this rain cloud over his head, while he stays with Jada, and she comes up with creative new ways of embarrassing him. Just nefarious plot to constantly publicly humiliate the guy.
Hang on, let me see if I can pull up some of the other stuff. Okay, let's see what this one says. This is from Cosmopolitan. A timeline of Jada Pinkett Smith and Will Smith's relationship. Will Smith and Jada Pinkett Smith have faced tons of ridiculous speculation about their relationship. See August Alsina casually revealing that he was in an entanglement with Jada while she was married. But while that was all extremely what? It isn't the first time Will and Jada have dealt with internet flipping the fuck out about their marriage. They've been shutting down rumors for literally decades. From claims they're in an open relationship. No, they literally did an interview on CNN saying they were in an open relationship. I remember I did a live stream about it. And speculation they're swingers to totally false whispers that Jada cheated on Will with Mark Anthony. I feel like I don't know who's behind this article, but it's not being honest. And let's not forget the slapgate at the 2022 Oscars. As usual, the truth is way more complicated than a bunch of online drama. In October 2023, Jada revealed that she and Will have actually been separated since 2016. Yeah, let's skip down because that's just recapping. Like, all right, circa 1994. Will met Jada on the set of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he was married to Cherie Zampino at the time. Once he and Cherie split up, Will straight up called Jada and asked if she was seeing anyone. When she said no, he replied, "Cool, you're seeing me now." The rest is history. New Year's Eve 1997, Jada and Will got married while she was pregnant with their son Jaden, although initially Jada didn't love the idea of making their relationship official on paper. Here's what she told People in a 2019 cover story. "I never wanted to get married, but my mother was like, you have to get married. She's so old school, and Will wanted a family, so I said, all right, maybe it's something I should do." August 23, 2011, amid rumors that Jada was hooking up with Mark Anthony, the couple released a statement to People. Behold. Although we are reluctant to respond to these types of press reports, the rumors circulating about our relationship are completely false. We are still together, and our marriage is intact. Meanwhile, Jada's rep said all the rumors regarding Mark Anthony and Jada are false. Completely untrue. As for the reports of a split between Will and Jada, I'm not commenting on their personal life. So clearly they had a rocky marriage the whole time, right? But they were doing things like, hey, going to the gym made our sex life better, right? August 14th, 2013, otherwise known as the fated day Jada hopped on Facebook to clarify comments that had everyone thinking she and Will were in an open marriage. Basically, she said, Will could do whatever he wants. Here's how I will change my statement. Will and I both can do whatever we want. Because we trust each other to do so. This does not mean we have an open relationship. This means we have a grown one. Okay. It's word soup. June 3rd, 2015, Jada gave an interview with Howard Stern, saying, "I'm not the kind of woman that believes that a man's not going to be attracted to other women. It's just not realistic. And just because your man is attracted to another woman doesn't mean he doesn't love you, and it doesn't mean he's going to act on it." Amid yet another round of rumors that Will and Jada were splitting, Will hit Facebook and denied that they were getting a divorce. Under normal circumstances, I don't usually respond to foolishness because it's contagious. But so many people have extended me their deepest condolences that I figured, what the hell, I can be foolish too. So in the interest of redundant, repetitious, over and over again-ness, Jada and I are not getting a divorce. I promise you all If I ever decide to divorce my queen, I swear I'll tell you myself. Hashtag dumb people should have to wear scarlet D's. Well, the thing is, they have done several interviews that indicated that their relationship was open. And that is not the same thing as saying, we're going to get a divorce. That just means that they have an arrangement, right? Is now a good time to mention that 2015 was also the year Jada was introduced to August Alsina. Just casually saying. June 25th, 2017. Jada and August attended the 2017 BET Awards together. Yeah, bro. Okay. July 21st, 2017. Jada showed up on Watch What Happens Live and said the wildest rumor she's ever heard about her family is that she and Will are swingers. That's the craziest one. It's constant. And I'm like, yo, I wish. Really. Okay. During an interview with Angela Yee, August claimed that he and Jada dated while she was married and that her marriage was open at the time. Okay, I think I've given you enough of this article. Let's get back to Moist Critical.
Plot to constantly publicly humiliate the guy. He just stopped his career for a whole year by slapping the man that he believed disrespected his wife. You're telling me that he did that knowing that you two weren't actually together? I don't believe that. An act which, by the way, she didn't appreciate. Like, even when it happened, she seemed to, like, publicly condemn it. And now she's talking about it again, saying that she initially thought it was a skit. And I was like, there's no way that Will hit him. It wasn't until Will started to walk back to his chair that I even realized it wasn't a skit. And then she said, as soon as they were alone, she asked Will, "Are you okay?" I'm not this man's psychiatrist, but I'll just tell you, he's not looking okay here. This really feels like a plot twist that Jada pulled out of her ass and isn't some mutually agreed upon thing. Like, I understand there's been rumors over the years that Will had some kind of affair with Margot Robbie at some point, though I don't think any of those claims have been substantiated. I think those were only ever just rumors. But Jada herself confirms an affair with somebody else. I just feel like Will and Jada aren't on the same page with that separation. But hey, then again, who knows? Celebrity couples are fucking weirdos. And this is by far the weirdest couple. And it's not even close. Like, I really wouldn't be surprised if Jada truly did just make this up because it's a really big headline and attention grabber, so it'd be great for marketing for her upcoming book. The book's not fully out yet, so we don't know all of the,
I don't know. She might be the driver behind why they did what they did. But Will was a willing participant in this. He could have actually granted that divorce in 2016. He could have ended the marriage at that point. They could have set up custody arrangements and visitation rights and everything else, right? But I think when you've got a lot of money, there's a lot of considerations about like how you split it up, right? How you split it up, how much this is the thing with you fellas who want to just stay with your wives, even though you're in a loveless marriage and you're maybe doing it for your kids or whatever. The longer you stay in that marriage, the longer you're going to have to pay alimony. So these are considerations that you need to think about.
Details behind everything or what all it's going to dive into. But just making a claim like this, a statement that they've actually been separated for 7 years as some kind of like big plot twist is huge for marketing for her book. So I really feel like there's a chance she did just make that up for that reason, and Will is as surprised as everyone else reading it.
I don't think so. I think they probably have been sleeping in separate bedrooms. They probably have been leading separate lives, and they probably did that to just provide two parents in the home while they were raising their kids.
Right now. So, I could be wrong, though. Maybe they are truly, a great team. They agree that they've been separated for 7 years, and Will still just sank his career for a relationship he's not even in anymore. Who knows? I just wanted to talk about this because I just find them to be a very interesting couple that I have become invested in learning about over the last year.
She's still the mother of his children. So it's not surprising that, looking at her being upset by the joke, that he would feel like he needed to defend her honor. Especially if he's the submissive in this situation and felt like he still needed to prove that he loved her.
That's really about it. See ya.